Okay, we're live. We're in the Moose. I've got to tell you where we are. We've got George Ensle with us in the Moose. I'm going to come back to you in just a second, George. But listen, guys, we're in the hill country at Poodies Roadhouse. It is a true story, and world famous venue here in Texas. George is with us in the Moose, and hi, George.
Hi, Rob.
A real treat. It's really good to see you, and we had a nice night the other night, with Chuck and Libby and everybody as well. And,
yeah, Bastrop.
Yeah, in Bastrop. And thanks for the invite. You've got a new album coming. We're gonna talk about that. We'll talk about your holiday, Christmas gigs and stuff like that as well. Wishing everybody a Merry Christmas, because we're getting that close now, aren't we? We're close enough to wish everybody a Merry Christmas. We'll get a couple of songs because you got a new album coming. We're going to talk about that too, as well. Tell us about Poodie. Did you meet Poodie?
I never did meet Poodie.
Did you not?
He was Willie's road manager.
Yeah.
And built this place a while back. And he, everybody from Johnny Cash, Waylon Jennings,
yeah,
Chris Christopherson. I mean, that stage has graced quite a few.
Yeah.
Famous folks.
Yeah.
And after he passed in 90-something, 94, 95, I think it was bought by this lady, Sharon Burke, and she's just done a phenomenal job. And she wanted songwriters to be honored, no matter what, have their own night. So I'm blessed to have a Monday night here where I invite another songwriter.
So if anybody's in Austin on a Monday night, and you're in Austin, they can come and see you.
I'm on the third Monday. Yeah. Right now I'm just doing the third Mondays.
Okay.
And there's other hosts, W.C. Jameson and gosh, I'm sorry, I can't think of the other fellow.
Yeah. And who's your guest tonight?
J. Boy Adams.
J. Boy Adams.
Tonight, yeah. And
we'll talk about J. Boy, and I'll ask him if we can record something from the show.
Yeah.
As well a bit later on.
Yeah.
We'll talk about him. But do you fancy lifting that beautiful guitar of yours? Do we do a song?
Sure.
We've got a good audience with us already. Guys, we're broadcasting here on Facebook, live from the Moose. These shows go out on Sheppy FM, and when I get home, I hope to have this one as our first one of the new season. Sheppy FM with Brother Mark. We'll say hello, Mark. Brother Mark Ellen on Sheppy FM. We broadcast on a Sunday from 3 till 6 p.m. That is 9 a.m. till high noon here in Texas time.
All right.
Yeah, so you're all welcome. We did get a lot of Texas listeners as well, so we have got a Texas legend with us right now. This is George Ensle. George, it's a treat to have you with us.
Thank you, Rob.
What do you fancy doing for us, sir?
Well, I think I'll do this song I wrote with our buddy Richard Dobson.
Well, that's a year yesterday, wasn't it, since we lost Richard?
I think so, yes.
Yeah, just about that.
I asked for strength and I got trouble to get me straight and strong. I asked for wisdom and I got problems, taught me right from wrong. I asked for courage and I got dangers to get me through my fear. I asked for answers and I got silence that taught me how to hear. I asked for love and I got strangers who needed a helping hand. I asked for mercy and I got an old friend who needed another chance. I asked for beauty and I got to see the world through the eyes of a child. asked for understanding, and got to see an old one smile. I got the world in a raindrop, and the promise in a sea. I got all I wanted when I got all I need. And what I asked for years, I got moments instead. When I asked for a feast, I got my daily bread. I asked for wealth, and I got work, and the hands to make my pay. I asked for truth, I got a lady, stands beside me all the way. Got the world in a raindrop, the promise in the sea. I got all I wanted when I got all I need. I got all I wanted when I got all I need.
Beautiful. We have George Ensle in the Moose. This is a red letter day for the Medicine Show Radio Moose Mobile. Thank you, George. Chuck, and listeners and viewers on Facebook, Chuck McDowell says, my favourite George song. That's lovely. And Jim Johnson just saying hello as well. Ian Tate's with us, and a few others. Donald Fraser in Inverness, Linda Ramage in the Highlands as well. Welcome, guys.
Great.
Please do share this. We'll get another song from George. If you're on Facebook listening, if you are on Sheppy FM, look up George's name. I'll leave a nice, if you don't know, I'll leave a nice link at the bottom of the page for you to have a look. So George, where are you in this music career? I think this next album links you all the way back to your first album. Is that correct?
And it does in a sense. My first album was recorded 40 years ago in 1978 at Hound Sound, which was Willis Allen Ramsey's studio in Austin. And a gentleman named Stephen Doster played guitar on it. He's actually a wizard of a guitar player. And fast forward 40 years, I hired Stephen to be my producer on this new album, Home. And during that time, he has produced over 70 artists, and he's built a state-of-the-art studio that incorporates analog, old school 2-inch MCI board, 24-track tape, and vintage microphones, plate reverb.
Wow.
With the digital, modern technology. So
the best of both worlds.
It is. It is. And it was a great experience recording with him. And getting
is he playing again for you in this one?
He's playing on this one.
Who else is playing?
John Inman.
Hey, the omnipresent John Inman.
Warren Hood. Christine Albert sang on it.
Wow.
On All I Need, actually. And Chip Dolan covered the keyboards and squeeze box and organ B3. He was amazing. My buddy Greg Whitfield, who's been playing with me for 13 years, somewhere in there. Of course, he played on it. Jeff Queen played steel, and Kristen DeWitt sang harmonies. She's phenomenal. She's the go-to lady here in Texas. And Greg Lowry played penny whistle and dobro. I think that's pretty much everyone.
Yeah. So that.
Oh well, Donnie Wynn played percussion and Mike Reed played drums.
Yeah.
I can't leave them out.
Very cool. So, have you a release date for this? Is it
February 9th?
Wow,
we're releasing it officially. Mm-hmm.
And is that going to be where are you releasing that?
At Threadgill's North.
You are. That'll be
the
really
old
nice.
#1 Threadgill's.
Yeah, where Janice started out and everybody.
That's right, where
right
Janice Joplin started. That's right.
Right back in the day. So we've established you started out in Austin, but you're a Houston boy,
yes,
aren't you? So
born in Houston and met Towns, Van Zandt, and Guy Clark back when I was 16 years old.
16?
Yeah.
So were you sitting and picking rounds with those guys in those
Well,
days?
by the time I was 18,
yeah,
I mean, I was kind of chumming with them, buddying with them, and
Yeah.
playing the Sand Mountain Coffee House in
Yeah.
1967 is when I started that, playing there. Don Sanders booked me there.
Nice.
My first booking in Austin.
in
Houston.
Well, I wonder, because the song tradition in Texas is so strong now, and basically your name's amongst them, but the names that you just mentioned is, in my head, the reason why. How was it back in those days? Was there an established songwriting setup back in then, or were you cutting a trail at that time?
Well, that was there was a Sand Mountain Coffee House was the folk scene.
Yeah.
And then Anderson Fair,
Yeah, which is still going.
which is still
Still
going,
very strong.
came into being as a cooperative effect for singer-songwriters. And at first it was just playing for tips and spaghetti. And they had just one shotgun room.
Yeah.
But then the old quarter happened, and
That's
that
in
kind of
Galveston, though, eh?
no, it was in downtown Austin.
it was?
Houston, the original.
All right, okay.
Across from
yeah.
next to the D. George Hotel,
Okay.
D. George Hotel, which is where Sinbad lived, who Guy wrote Let Him Roll about.
Is that right?
Sinbad,
Yeah.
He was an old retired merchant marine character
Wow.
that drank white port wine profusely.
Yeah.
Anyway, I've got a story about Sinbad too, but that'll take too long to tell. But anyway, then the old quarter happened, and it went from being, this sort of pristine fishnet candles on the table, Sand Mountain Coffee House, to a by God bar, and with beer and wine, and there wasn't any whiskey at the old quarter, but he and Dale Sofar, Rex Bell and Dale Sofar ran
Rex Bell,
the old
there's a
quarter.
name that keeps coming up as well.
And Rex is the one who reopened it in Galveston.
Is that right? No, I hadn't made that connection.
Yeah, and Dale's passed.
Yeah.
Dale passed. So, but the original old quarter was across from the cop shop in downtown on Austin and Congress in Houston, Texas.
Yeah, if you want to hide, you hide in the shadows.
And I opened for Mance Lipscomb there, and not to mention having David Bromberg sit in with me and his crew.
So at that time, Austin, that was pre World Headquarters.
70s. Yeah, well, about the same time the headquarters was happening in Austin.
Yeah.
The old quarter was happening in Houston.
Yeah, so you were skipping back and forward up that road in there.
Yeah, and there was lots of other little clubs there.
Yeah.
The Rice University in Houston has established this Houston Folk Music Archives now.
Yeah.
And Richard Dobson's in it. I'm in it. Vince Bell is in it.
Yeah.
Don Sanders is in it.
Is that an open source? Can people go there and find out more about it?
Yes, it's on Facebook. It's Houston Folk Music Archives.
There you go, folks. That's it. That's where it starts.
There's an online presence for all of us. I've got a 90-minute interview in there.
Wonderful.
And so does Vince.
Okay, well, we've only got a 20-minute one. That's where to go. Say that again. It's the Houston Archive.
Folk Music Archives at Rice University.
Well, it's a pleasure having you with us, George. I'm so looking forward to the show. Who's your guest today? Tell us a bit more about that.
J-Boy Adams. Well, J-Boy came, he's a Texas boy too.
Yeah.
He was on, I'm not all that sure about his history, but I had heard at some point that he was on like the first opening for the ZZ Top on their first tour.
Is that right?
Yeah. And,
Goodness me.
But J-Boy's, he's an artist in his own right.
Yeah.
He's got a great blues folk style and a real powerful performer.
Well, I'm looking forward to it. So, George Ensle and J-Boy are today in the wonderful Poodies Hilltop Lounge
In Spicewood, Texas.
in Spicewood, Texas.
That's
I can't
right.
believe it. I'll pinch myself. Thanks for joining us on Facebook, guys. Thanks for the shares and all the likes. George Ensle, Ensle.com.
Yes.
Be where to find you.
It's
And-
GeorgeEnsle.
Yeah, and of course Facebook. You're there and happy to see people come and like your page. I'm sure.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, come and see George. You coming to Europe at some point, George?
I'm planning on it.
Cool.
I am.
We'll keep a welcome for you then.
Well,
in
I'm
that
looking
case.
forward to it.
I can't
Really
wait
am.
either.
Really am.
So looking forward to the album as well, and hopefully see George in Europe in the summer.
It's a concept album.
Yeah?
It's
Oh, tell
Home
us
is
more.
what it's called.
Yeah.
And you know the amalgamation of songs that are on it, the collection is thematically
Yeah.
going away from and coming back to and everything in between.
Yeah.
And what happens. There's a song on there I wrote with Chuck Hawthorne.
So there is.
Yeah, which I'll play for you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's do that.
Let's do that.
Is that the gloves?
Gloves.
Yeah, I love that song. George Ensle with a co-written song with Chuck Hawthorne here in the Moose.
My dad bought me this pair of gloves when I moved out on my own. It was like a rite of passage the first time I put them on. He said, wear them for the greater good. And remember, son, always build God's kingdom. Don't forget where you come from. Well, they're just like my second skin. Sometimes it's hard to see if I'm wearing them or if they're wearing me. I bear the scars for every time I threw that gauntlet down. Those gloves did no one any good laying empty on the ground. But just before I turned away, I heard my father's words. I picked them up, put them on, and I got back to my work. They're just like my second skin. Sometimes it's hard to see if I'm wearing them, if they're wearing me. But through the years I mended fences every chance I had, and I rebuilt old foundations, never going bad. I welded with the ties that bind, blood, sweat, tears. It's like my dad's hands were in those gloves, and God's kingdom was right here. So here's a window for the sunrise, and a door to let my neighbor in, and a round table for my family with no beginning and no end. With gloved hands I built these things, and now I do believe while I was making them, they were making me. Dad gave me this pair of gloves when I moved out on my own. It was like a rite of passage the first time I put them on.
Beautiful. Well, there you go. Shivers down the backbone with George Ensle in the Moose. Thank you, sir.
Right over there's where we wrote that song.
Is that right? We're at Poodies in the hill country.
The back.
Is that right?
The back office there, yeah.
There you are. Well, welcome home. In that case,
Chuck
that
was my
song comes
guest.
home.
Chuck was my guest at one of these, and
That's
so
what
he
happens.
came early, and we wrote
Yeah. So what's the name of the album, George?
Home.
It is Home. Okay, well, you're at home in Poodies. That song
Home.
came home.
John Lomax is doing some distribution
Uh-huh.
over there with it, and
Yeah.
we're gonna have it on Burnside too, I guess. But
Okay.
Frenchie, Mike the French, he's been playing.
Mike Pennant's got the scoop on it
He's
already.
gonna start playing cuts off of it.
Bless his heart.
Starting the first of the year.
Well,
My-
I can't
Is
wait
it
for it.
Bernard? Is that how you pronounce it?
Penard, I
Mike
think,
Bernard.
you know,
Uh-huh.
We just call him Mike the Frenchie.
I said,
Well,
I said,
hopefully
okay, yeah,
I shall be looking forward to a copy arriving in for Sheppey FM at some point. And looking forward to seeing you again when we come back
Absolutely.
in March. Thank you very much, George Ensle here in the Moose. Come out to Poodies if you're in the neighbourhood and watch him, guys. Thanks.
Yes, sir.